Right, welcome back. Um, so thanks to anyone who's coming back after the first video, and if this is the first time you're seeing me, hello, I'm Richard. I don't think I even said that on the first video, to be quite honest. So yeah, I'm just out for a walk. It is much hotter and much sunnier than I expected it to be, so I'm probably squinting like crazy right now. And I can see some people coming my way, so I'm probably going to have to stop in a bit. But yeah, so welcome back to the channel. And for those of you who have come back, or maybe you're exploring, maybe you're time travelers from the future, and you've already watched me in 5 years' time, and I'm in some really snazzy YouTube studio with neon lights and all that kind of jazz and soundproofing on my wall, and who knows. So if you're coming from there, this is where this all began. And if you're Richard, looking back on this from the future, see how far you've come. Look. So anyway, so what might we talk about today? I think the first thing I was going to talk about really was what came to my mind today was returning back to watching things on 4K Blu Ray. There's an awful lot of people on YouTube already who talk about this topic, and thank you to them for kind of invigorating my interest in that. If I could remember names of channels, I'd give people a shout out, but I'm terrible at that kind of thing. Yeah, so 4K Blu-rays. This is pretty windy, so this is really going to test the tolerance of my AirPods. Apologies if you can't hear a thing I'm saying. I'll have to check this out when I get back home. But it's alright, it doesn't matter if it doesn't work, does it? I'll just do it again another time. So yeah, 4K Blu-ray. So I think my journey into this began when I started thinking about the quality of audio that we get now. And I tell you what actually started a lot of this for me. What started a lot of this for me was having a naff internet connection. That's what really started it. Where I live, even though I'm not far from the city, for some inexplicable reason, the broadband is pretty garbage where I am. Certainly not reliable enough for a family of 4 to all be using devices all at the same time. But also, if you're trying to watch something in 4K, it doesn't always stream smoothly. Sometimes it drops the quality down. Sometimes it pauses completely. So yeah, not great. And now, I did change all that. I did get, what I did in the end was I just give up, and I got a 4G router, and that worked pretty well. Not brilliant, had some issues with it at first. Shout out to my friend who helped me try and work through all that, and what ultimately ended up happening was I ended up having to ditch the hardware that came from the company that provide the 4G, and buy myself some external third-party gear from Amazon, which was TP-Link, I think, is the company that do them. So it's like a mesh network. Anyway, getting sidetracked there. It's a little caterpillar. Yeah, getting sidetracked a bit there. So now I've got a 4G network, mesh network, so things are a little bit better. But still 4K is not really something I can rely on all the time. So I started to experiment with listening to my CDs at home, because I still have loads of CDs from the 90s and 2000s when I was younger. I was really impressed with the audio quality on them. So eventually, I'd read quite a bit online about 4K being the absolute pinnacle of audiovisual quality. Somebody who quite likes going to the cinema, appreciates the things of high quality in life, always have done, but not always had the money for them. And I'm not ridiculous, you know, I'm not somebody who spends like 15 grand on a setup or whatever, like, and no, good luck to you if you can afford that, then fantastic. But you know, I go for what I see to be quite reasonable but quality product when I buy stuff. So I already had a decent TV and 5.1 set up at home. Sadly now that's a 5.0 as my subwoofer has died, but actually I'm managing quite well without it. So I thought, well, I had a PS5 and there's no way I was going to buy an extra player. I just had no interest in spending more money on buying a separate player, especially if it was going to be something I wasn't going to do long term. I really just wanted to try it out. And I thought, you know what, PlayStation 5 does that, doesn't it? So I went to my local CEX and picked up a copy of Jaws second hand, and I took that home and watched it, and I was like, sold, because I already had Jaws in 4K on my Apple TV, and I was looked pretty good, can't deny, but 4K Blu Ray, my word, never seen it look so good in my life. And I've seen it on the big screen as well. I'm going to stop for a bit because it gets a bit noisy around here. So yes, I had the PS5 and Jaws, like I say, and it was it blew my socks off. Absolutely blew my socks off. How much better it was. But actually, do you know what? The main bit that was the real difference was the audio. My God, I can't tell you, if you haven't experienced 4K Blu-ray and you think watching stuff at home on streaming is perfectly good enough, and I'm not one to say that it's not. It is good enough, but if you value things like sound design, it's just on another level. The sound, the only way I can describe it to me is it sounds more solid. That's the only way I can describe it. It's like there's a richness and a fullness to all the notes and sound effects that come through. They have just so much more impact on you. The various sort of effects and things and explosions and all that kind of jazz. But really for me it's the music, I think, that sounds absolutely amazing. And if you've got a movie, your favourite movie, especially something like Jaws, which has a really great soundtrack, it just sounds fantastic. It really does. And then the other aspect of it for me is, obviously, as other people have talked about elsewhere, but if you've not heard this before, titles do go disappearing from streaming channels, especially if you rely on Netflix and Amazon for your movies and things. You know fine well that they'll just disappear from the catalogue at times. Sometimes they'll go and they'll never return. And if you're somebody like me who enjoys rewatching movies, I just want to be able to watch it when I'm in the mood to watch it. Yeah, I try to get through as many movies as I can. I'm subscribed to things like Netflix and Amazon Prime and Movie more recently, which I really recommend if you enjoy movies that are a little bit different, and not just following your kind of cookie cutter. Try a different angle. You're a different sort of cookie cutter American style movies with predictable plot lines and, A to B stories. It's a good channel, and I don't think it's overly expensive neither. And the quality of stream on that, God, it is one of the better streaming channels for picture quality, I think. So I have been slowly expanding my 4K collection, very slowly. I have to admit, sometimes I get suckered in and I buy things when I'm not even ready to start watching anything more new. This is one of my principles. I think I'm not really somebody I would call myself a collector. If you are, good luck to you. my personal opinion is I don't think it's particularly healthy. I think you end up spending a lot of money to collect a lot of plastic in a room that eventually you realise you can't do anything with it and you have to get rid of it. But if that's you, then good luck to you. You know, I'm not judging you. I'm not judging you. I just don't think it's good for people and for people's mental health in general. I think buy what you could watch. That's my approach. So for me, for now, buying is on a pause. I've got plenty to be getting through. I don't have any FOMO. I don't really care. Like, it's just bother me. Stuff like that. And yeah. So my latest two purchases were I got the two new Tron movies because I thought the steelbooks looked fantastic, the artwork and design on them, and they really looked like something lovely that I wanted in my collection. So I mean, that's the other thing about it, is you've got a physical product, right? You've got something to actually hold on to and look at and admire when you get it out of your cabinet, as opposed to just scrolling through a menu. And I just don't think there's the same level of satisfaction. Right, I'm going to pause for a bit because I'm hitting quite a hilly part of the walk and I'm not going to be able to breathe and talk at the same time. Right, we're up the hill. It wasn't as bad as well, it was bad, but I think I must be getting a bit fitter because that was not quite as devastating as it usually is. One of the reasons I'm doing this is because I think actually having a bit of chat to the camera whilst I go for a walk, which is one of the things I want to do, is like increase my my movement, because I work from home normally, and some days, you know, in the past I wouldn't even leave the house. I really wouldn't. Like, might not even step out outside the door. I do not recommend that. I do not recommend that. I think try and get outside at least once a day if you can, even just for a couple of minutes. I sometimes even walk outside in the back garden with me dressing gown on for a bit and just get the sunlight on my face and a bit of fresh air first thing in the morning. That feels nice. Seems to set you up for a more determined, focused mood for the day, I think. So anyway, sorry, I went off on a little bit of a tangent there. I think the other thing is also just something about having your own physical collection allows you to focus more on what you want to choose. Your choice is more limited, and that helps you make a decision faster and actually get things watched. You know, if you've got a goal of wanting to see more movies, want to experience different types of movies, then having a physical one is a good way of doing it. Having a physical collection is a good way of doing it, really. It just focuses the mind. Also lets you see the artwork. If you get a really nice one like the Criterion collection or something like that, you'll have a nice bit of book in there, lots of behind the scenes making of, you know, and if you have a particularly favourite movie, it's always, to me anyway, really fascinating to see how a movie was made. I think I actually love that as much as I love the actual movies themselves sometimes. I think if I was a young lad, I might start over again and, you know, try and get into the movie making industry. But, you know, it is what it is. And maybe this is my own form of creation, right? This is my own way of making some sort of, it's a moving image. It's a movie. It's basically a YouTube vlog, but, you know, still small things and small things in gradual increments. Who knows where things might go one day. So my basically, to close, all I would say is that if you are thinking about dipping your toes in the water of 4K discs, I would say do it. I would say get yourself some second-hand discs to save yourself some money. Try and avoid getting into steelbooks. They're far too expensive for what they are. really. I like the artwork on some of the ones I've got, but it's the movie I want to watch at the end of the day. It's the movie that you'll be watching at the end of the day. So yeah, get yourself some second-hand ones. If you've got a next-gen console, you know, Xbox X or whatever, and a PS5 sitting around at home doing nothing, put it to good use. Honestly, you probably, for most people, you probably never want to upgrade beyond that. The image quality for me on the PlayStation 5 is fantastic. I have zero desire to spend another £200-300+ for yet another device that could go wrong or need updating or whatever. So yeah, if you've got available to you, I say do it. If you're starting on your 4K journey, I wish you good luck. And if you've got any questions, leave them in the comments below. See you next time.